Hey guys, it's Vero91, and I'm talking about Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, I remember all those rumors about a Pro Switch is coming and all that stuff, and they started to solidify as time went on. But now we have someone actually from Nintendo talking about them. Now, this person is Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa. Probably butchered that name. And this is what he had to say. As a general rule, we're always working on new hardware and we will announce it when we are able to sell it. But we have no plans to announce that at this year's E3 in June. So even if there is a Switch Pro coming, because he didn't really even allude to a Switch Pro, he just basically said, we're always working on new hardware. He could be talking about the next console. It probably won't even be talked about this year. And to me, that's a good thing. I honestly don't think we need a Switch Pro. Why? Because I think when we see the Switch, it's not like the Wii U. There are actually third-party companies that are actually making the AAA games for the Switch. Like Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out for the Switch, and it's coming out for the Switch on the same day as it releases for the other systems. So we're not even at the point anymore where we're getting old games, good games sometimes, but old games that had to be released later on the Switch. It seems like we're actually getting to the point where the Nintendo Switch can have those third-party games on the same day they're released on other consoles. So to me, we do not need a Switch Pro right now, and I don't think we need one at all. Why? Because I think the Switch can just stay around, and as long as games are still being released for the Xbox One and PS4, the Switch will survive. Because if the third parties have to make their games for those systems, I think they will still be making them for the Switch as well. And if the PS5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever it's going to be called release next year, holiday time, then the Switch has still until 2022 for the 5-year normal cycle to end. So I think that's what it can do. I think that with developers usually still making games for the last generation within 2 years of the current generation, 2022 would be a perfect time to release the next Switch. So I don't think they need to be working on a Switch Pro. I think they just need to work on the second Switch or whatever they're going to call it. And in 2022, they just need to release it. And I think the Switch right now just needs to say the Switch. No Pro needed, because I think it will separate the fan base. Why? Because let's face it, if a Switch Pro came out and let's just say it's a 3 teraflop video card in there and a bunch of RAM and all that stuff, I think a lot of companies would be like, listen, we're not making the game for the old Switch. We're making this for the Switch Pro. And that would split up the fan base, and that would be bad in my opinion, because a lot of games that people want to play be like, well, I'd have to go out and buy a Switch Pro now. I don't think that the Switch, unlike the PS4 and the Xbox One, could pull the whole every single game is still coming to the base console. I don't think the Switch could do that if a Switch Pro came out. So I think it's better for Nintendo just to focus on the Switch and also be focusing on the next Switch. That's it. Focus on getting the good first-party games like they're doing, and focus on getting those good third-party games to the Switch as well. And then in 2022, after third-party devs, I think, will probably stop making for the Xbox One and for the PS4, that's when you bring out your next Switch. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. May God bless you all.